84% of Americans say they have overspent on their budget, and inflation is absolutely crazy. How much was your bag of lettuce? It was $1,000. Yours? Oh man, you got a good deal. Creating goals for your income and cutting down practically can help you with your budget. Creating a higher income will ultimately lead to a more sustainable life. It will also provide a higher margin of safety. Cutting expenses on things that you don't really care about can also be beneficial. Just tread lightly on that. These goals will only be income-based because that will ultimately lead to a higher, better result according to studies. Goal number 1, spend less than you make every week. Attention, this is intentionally not a SMART goal, but it's perfect for the person who just really doesn't want to think about finance that much. According to a recent study, 62% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. I personally have found these tips to be the most helpful, and I live in one of the most expensive cities in the world, New York. Start planning your meals for the week. Use public transportation. Just be careful if you're on the subway. Ew. Buy in bulk. Costco is a great low-cost option, and you can get a hot dog for $1.50. Get your books from the library. Goal number 2, make an additional $100 per week on a side hustle. I have tried doing countless things online, and I can tell you some of them are very realistic and practical, and some of them not so much. And it's a very big barrier of entry. It costs a lot of capital. So here are some great, realistic, practical ways to make an extra $100. Freelancing. Any skill you have, create a page on Fiverr or ask your neighbor for a job. So I do part-time virtual assistance or VA, and that tends to make an average of $18.89 per hour. So if you do that for 6 hours each week, you will make your $100 and then some. Tutoring. Tutors can make $39,000 a year. If you are educating in a certain class, say math, history, English, or science, you can teach after school. You can also do an ESL class as a side job. So if you have a basic understanding of English or math, you can teach 3rd or 4th grade. Music teacher. I have a few students who I teach voice to, and in New York, the average voice teacher costs $100 an hour. Now, I'm just talking about any specific field where you can teach. If you're an expert in that field, just niche into it, go by word of mouth, and go out there and get hired. You can also look for digital courses that you can create as well, as that is very lucrative. Babysitting or dog sitting. This pays $21.92 an hour on average. Please use caution and safety, but this can be highly lucrative. Server and hostess. Hostessing, I highly recommend because you get paid $20 an hour plus tips from the coats that you get. The downside of this is that you're on your feet literally every single hour of the day and you barely get to eat anything or any break. Part-time or entry-level job on the weekends. Work an entry-level job on the weekends like any fast food chain. On average, you can make $15 per hour. By working 10 hours a week, you can accumulate an extra $100. Goal number 3, negotiate a raise or find a higher paying job by 5% by the end of the year. According to research by Zippia, the average salary increase for those who switch jobs is 14.8%. That's pretty high. Those who stay in a job for more than 2 years tend to make less. While these studies may seem a bit shocking, staying in one place actually isn't the most lucrative. Now, I understand that this might not be the best goal for people who are a little bit nervous about the job atmosphere or environment that we're in, and rightfully so. So staying at a job might cause peace of mind. You already have a rapport with the company. And if you like where you're working, then by all means, take that pay cut, but just know that there's an opportunity cost with it. Goal number 4, spend 1 hour a week creating your dream business. Now, this is a fun one because if you've always dreamt of having your own business, do it. Now is the best time to start. Just don't spend any money on it. Use your brain, use your resources. There are countless resources, especially on YouTube, where you can find the education you need. You'll even end up with marketable skills that will help you in the future to get future jobs. And that's the least that you can gain from this. What if your dreams actually became a reality and you had this incredibly flourishing, rich business? Bonus points as you spend time creating and less time on Netflix. So let's talk about my favorite YouTube channels that you can start learning how to create that business that you've always wanted to create. Now, my first one, I have to Now, my first one I have to say is Gary Vee. And yes, I know he's a little bit into the grind culture and I'm more of namaste. But I do think that he has very valid points of just to start creating content to help promote your business before you actually know what you're going to create or have your whole business plan going. I also really like Alex Hormozi, Cody Sanchez, Earn in Demand. Oh, and Ali Abdaal.